Hey everybody out there, my name is Dragnix, and this is the monthly vlog. I try to do this every so often to give you guys an understanding of where the channel's going, what I'm doing, and where my mindset is. And in particular, this time around, my mindset I think is the biggest portion. This video may be more for me and getting stuff off my chest than anything else, just because of everything going on. It's been stressful lately, that's for sure. I know Christmas just ended, but, you know, life doesn't necessarily stop at this point. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about what's coming up and where I think I'm going to be focusing my efforts on. Now, for the rest of the week, I probably won't be making content. The reason for that is that I'm going to sort of hit the reset button on things. What I mean by that is that, like, my computer performance, for example, I think it's hit a point where I need to sort of start fresh. The multi-threaded portions in terms of applications working on at the same time, I've seen significant dips in performance. There's stuff all over the place in terms of my drives. I just feel like I need to start over in terms of, start with a clean slate, get rid of some applications and installations, start with a fresh OS build, and go from there. So I'll be taking a day to just do that. Now, I'll be working on Bedlam. It was a game that I've got my notes on, and I've pretty much gotten my opinion on. I just need to turn it into a video at this point, but I want to do that other portion first. I've been waiting on it mostly because I got a 4 terabyte drive the other day, aka for Christmas, and now I can put pretty much all the content I need to save on there, as opposed to putting it on like a terabyte here, a terabyte there. So that was helpful. Thank my parents for Christmas for that. As to the channel did pretty well considering the history last month. I'm going to bring up the analytics here just to understand where I've been in the last 30 days. Subscriber count actually was a little bit down in terms of overall growth, but that's mostly due to the fact that the period before had a huge spike because of the Reddit thread. But I have to consider the fact that, I'm not growing at the rate I am. Now, with that said, the view minutes are completely up. A good amount of that is the one really, really successful video this month, aka the top 10 worst games of 2015, which sort of, it's completely outshined everything else. It's 30% of the minutes that were watched within the channel at this point over the last 30, is it 28 or 30 days? 28 days, which is pretty significant, to be honest with you. It actually surprised me, to be honest with you. I did not see that being as successful as it was compared to, like, okay, top 10 disappointing games, top 10 games you haven't played, top 10 games, the end of the year list, of course, but it's, definitely done well. With that said, the earnings aren't that there, and I've debated maybe I need to join a network to get the ad revenue up. That would put me in a position, though, where I'd have to, play out that contract even if, things don't go well at this point. I'm not sure if I want to do that. So I got to consider that. But I'm not happy with the growth. I'm going to be completely honest. And I don't blame anybody but myself. I've seen a lot of people comment, and it's like, why don't you have more subs? And, back in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I wish I did, and me trying to figure out exactly what I'm doing wrong there has been frustrating, to say the least. It's whether or not I'm hitting too of a niche market. I don't think I am. I think people really want reviews and really want that data, but I may be wrong. I'm completely honest and open with what I do. I will never change that. That's why I got out of the business that I was in before, in terms of having to, lie to customers and things like that. And so it's been a struggle, to say the least. And I really have to consider what I need to do to make this successful, because, again, I put X amount of money away. I'm not going to put financials down. That's not something that I really want to advertise, but I put X money to make this succeed, and it's been dwindling at this point. I got to find a way to stop the bleeding, I guess. And there have been certain life events that I've got to take into consideration. My Cobra insurance from my old job, is finally up at this point. I'm trying to go for Obamacare, but they're reacting very slowly. With medication that I've got, that's huge, so I need to consider that. You know, there's been frustration levels on my part in terms of execution. I definitely feel like I do better with the edited content, but the edited content takes a long time to bring to the table. I mean, it is not something that's easily done overnight, especially the way I want to do it. People think that video creation is easy at times, and by no means is it. In some ways, I think it's even worse than, harder than programming. I mean, I did do it for 6 years, and I feel like software engineering is a lot easier for me than the video editing, but it's less fulfilling at times because I don't necessarily see the reaction to people like I do with the video portion. So there's that. What else to talk about? I mean, you probably see me frustrated on Twitter a little bit. Seeing some stuff like, Jinx's channel and some of the drama alert stuff that I've seen, I make sure that I keep, in tabs with the big news of the day and things like that. But seeing things like that succeed at times has been really, really frustrating, especially stuff that I think is very, very low content or doesn't do the justice to the topic that it deserves. But people obviously find something positive about it. So there's been frustration there. There's been frustration all over the place, and I'm not going to sit here and not admit that. That just means I have to up my game, and I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that at this point. I have to do it. I have to find a way if I want this to succeed. If not, I have to sort of give it up, or at least make it a side project rather than, a full-time career. But yeah, now there's the Patreon route, which I don't think is going to make that much at this point. I know that people have expressed interest in that. It's great, and I think I may go down that route at this point, but it's not going to, it's not going to bring in the bills at this point, and it needs to be supported by ad revenue, which isn't there at this point. So I need a bigger user base, and that's what I need to support. I need to do without compromising me at this point, or my vision for the channel. And sorry if my voice is getting hoarse. I don't think I'm coming down with a cold, but my voice has been very hoarse for the last couple days. As for what's coming up on the channel on a little bit more of a high note, the Big Action Mega Fight game that comes out on the 12th I'll be covering, along with Oxenfree on the 14th. I'm going to try to get Dungeon Lot, although it says it's coming out on the 13th, but I'm not exactly sure on that. They've been very iffy on whether that's going to be the case. I may look at that Dragon Cancer as well, just because it has the name Dragon in it. It has nothing to do with dragons, but it seems like a weird alternative narrative experience at this point. I don't know if I'm going to do Dragon's Dogma. I want to do it, but it's an RPG, and I'm very, very concerned about getting, too involved with it at this point. Beyond that, I've got other things scheduled for later weeks. Gemini Heroes Reborn, Deathlands? Hold on a second. I'm trying to read my own writing here. Brashlands, I guess it is. I'm going to have to figure out exactly what that is. Slain and Bombshell are ones that for the rest of the month that I want to take a look at. But I really want to hear from you guys on what you want to see. Do you want to see bigger titles like Resident Evil 0, for example, for the PC? Do you guys want to see, Dragon's Dogma? What do you guys want to see? Because again, I do this for you guys. I do this as a consumer advocate in terms of, games that you should get for you specifically. So I always want to hear your feedback. I may be putting up TF2 Highlander stuff as well. I am playing Pyro this season, and it is my strongest class in my opinion. I've always been the better Pyro than everything else, so it will be nice to see me play an actual season of it. I've been playing it more and more lately. I do want to know if you guys would like to see that at this point, just because I don't want to overburden you with content that you aren't going to watch. I've been trying to be more active on Twitter as well as Facebook lately, although Facebook has been a little more problematic than Twitter. Twitter just seems more up my alley because of, simple things. And if I want to, go into something, I probably will make a video or a piece over at TechRaptor. I haven't done a lot with TechRaptor lately, only because I've been just so focused on making other content. I haven't gotten to it, and I admit I've been sort of down just as a general portion with some real life stuff that I won't go into. I don't think it's appropriate for this at this point, but real life has been a little bit of a drag. family's going through some rough times. Yeah, it's just one of those times where you got to grin and bear it and deal with the situation. But it also, you know, has sort of circled back to, I got to make this work sooner rather than later if I want this to become, you know, more than what it is right now. So I know this is pretty a downer in terms of the vlog, and I apologize for that. But like I've always said to you guys, I'm gonna be honest. I'm never gonna be a situation where I'm going to force an emotion that is gonna change things. You know, I'm not gonna be ultra happy when I'm not happy with a game. I'm not gonna be ultra critical when I'm not feeling that ultra criticalness with a game. I'm going to be what I am at that point and nothing more and nothing less. That's just me. I'm comfortable with myself. I'm comfortable with who I am despite my flaws. And again, I've grown as a person because of this channel and because of the people that I've interacted with, and I thank every one of them. And maybe, you know, maybe I will be, you know, somebody different, you know, a couple years down the line. I doubt it, not with my core values, but you never know. But you guys will always get what my honest opinion is. That's it, and that's always going to be it. And again, I want to hear from you guys. I think the biggest thing I need to know is what I need to improve, what you guys want to see more of, where you think I can improve. And I mean, this really helps me, guys. And it helps do that with all the YouTube creators that you watch that need growth. I mean, you probably don't need to do it with people like Total Biscuit. I mean, he's pretty up there and he's pretty, you know, he knows what he's doing. But if you're following a YouTuber and you're following them and want them to succeed, give them feedback. Be brutally honest. You know, be brutally honest about if something doesn't work, because that's all they can work off of at this point. And I think the bigger channels that, you know, or the channels that are able to succeed get that feedback and are able to work off of it at that point. Sure, there's always going to be an element of luck, and sometimes you just don't get lucky, but I think sometimes you have to force luck, if that makes sense. Circling back to the extra videos, I'm going to work on them. I'm going to take the time to, you know, do a little bit more different content. I know I did a lot of top 10s at this point last month, as I mentioned before, so I'm sort of special videoed out at this point. I think my bread and butter has always been the first impressions and the reviews, but yeah, I just need. I'll probably take a break from that kind of content for the next week or two, because it takes a lot out of you with all the stuff that you have to consider. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up in terms of this video, mostly because my voice is about to go out again, which, oh boy, I hope that doesn't continue. But if I'm going to take the next day or two to clean my computer, I guess it's better now than any other time at this point. All right, this is Dragnix signing out. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Keep on gaming and expect more in the near future. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button in the middle of the screen. The last video I did will be in the top left, and a related video to this will be in the top right. I do have a Twitter handle at the bottom left and a Facebook page at the bottom right. And of course, you can always subscribe to the Google Plus portion. Anyway, thanks for watching and keep on gaming.